Hello and good morning, everyone. Good to see you. Paul Tranny with the one and only Sasha Vinogradova. How are you doing today, Sasha?
I'm doing good. I have some interesting stuff for you guys to share. Hopefully, it will be helpful. How are
I'm
you,
I,
Paul?
I'm sure it will be. I'm fantastic. I'm super excited about today. Hopefully everybody else is as well. I think yesterday's is like just like your previous Adobe Lives, like worth a rewatch. It's like I was taking mental notes, so appreciate yesterday.
I hope
And
so. I hope
yeah,
there was something helpful there.
Yeah, it was so helpful. So, want to welcome everybody. Fury, Wade, Matt, Michelle, Peter. Feel free to say hello to Sasha. We get her today for 2 hours, and that's it. What, man? It's half over. Oh, or we actually have another half to do. Basically, let's look at it optimistically. So, I'm looking forward
You,
to this. Yeah, I guess I'll
oh,
turn it over to you. We will be doing an artist spotlight, just so everybody knows. We'll do that about 90 minutes in. But keep the questions coming. I think that's, invaluable time to ask Sasha questions and for her to just make up an answer. Just kidding.
yeah. I am looking at the chat occasionally. Sorry if I missed some of your questions, but yeah, we will try to answer them.
No, that's good. It's benefiting people. Sean's saying it. He used Sasha's tips today, in fact, some of your tips. So that's awesome. Good to
Nice.
see. Yeah. So yeah, they loved yesterday. Kimmy J Designs, what's up, Kimmy? This is a beautiful image too that we're looking at now. Wow. Let's
Uh,
dive in if you're ready. This is exciting.
yeah, we're literally going to be diving in, and I'm going to show how to submerge objects under the water if you are interested in it. So that's what we're going to build. And I saw so many comps where, like, people try to do water, and sometimes it gets tricky with all the distortion and refractions. And this one maybe it's not perfect, but I hope some tips will be helpful. And as always, I start. Hey, references. That's everything.
Nice.
So pretty much all the look you get, um, like all the elements I see here, I try to bring back into the comp. So when you look at it, you notice the color of the background, you notice the texture of the water waves on the person, you see the distortion coming, distorted reflection. So some God rays sometimes, some dust on the camera. So and if you look closer, there are some chromatic aberrations on some of them. So I'm going to try to bring all this into the comp. So we will start with new composition. This is my standard size for like poster for a print. And I have a whole bunch of awesome stock images, which I used for this. So first of all, again, looking at the background, I see that it's not just single color. It has a little bit of texture, but there is nothing crazy. I do not see the waves up top very much. Maybe some, water texture behind. So I picked this image for my background and enlarged it a lot. And usually I keep my references on the second screen, so I see that it's close. I am going to bring it to my second screen, but I'll be showing them occasionally.
Yeah, sounds good. And I'm curious to see how you do the bubbles and different things. I know you have some stock assets for the bubbles as well.
Oh yeah. I try to do everything here in 2D. So
because that is it because that will be the most realistic. Is that the idea?
No, I just wanted to show people how to do underwater stuff without using 3D. I personally would do the reflection and bubbles in 3D just so it's totally accurate. But for this one, it's 2D.
Do you find working with 3D, does it help you like see a little better? Like seeing shadows and light bounce off surfaces? Are you more cognizant of those sort of things?
I think having experience with 3D is absolutely helpful because you start seeing how render works, that there is a diffuse, then specular, or the reflective layer, and you just understand how that pixel math works, and that all those passes, they just combine. So you start seeing your 2D images the same way, and also just seeing how things, how shadows, light work, how objects being transparent. So it's helpful just even in terms of the research, like learning about physics of light and color and stuff.
That's good. Because I think most people just paste in the sword and then put a blue overlay over the top and call it done. So you're saying there's more to it than that?
Oh, well, we will try to bring more to it, but there's still, you gotta drop a blue overlay on that for sure. So I brought a PNG of the sword, and obviously I need to color correct it, which I'm doing just with color balance. And one thing, if you see the background is darker, should be darker, so I'm going to do that.
I like using that color balance where you just cranked up the blues, so it's still keeping some of those other colors in there as well. So it's not just a blue sword in blue water.
Yeah, I kind of like having this control. And also something to remember, again, lighting, because it's an underwater comp. So the image I picked has top-down lighting. Something to remember, because you can pretty much use any image, but if you have lighting from the side, or you have some rim lighting, it will be harder to competent.
People are into this in chat, so it's Emma's favorite. Sean's working on something now, or Wade's working on something now, some underwater type stuff. Nice. This looks good. I'll throw a little curves. That makes it look very dramatic.
Oh yeah.
You use the gradient tool a lot, I'm noticing.
I do. I either do gradient tool or a very soft brush with a big size soft brush. Cool. So
it's looking good
with the background. Okay, so I think it's good for the start, and from here, let's bring some bubbles.
Yeah, because right now it looks like it's just in a very blue tinted, like a sort of a dark room, right? I'm not seeing a lot of light and stuff, so this will be interesting. Throwing some bubbles in there, so into it.
Yeah, if you look at the original comp, what happened? We will have big bubbles, small bubbles, and then I'll walk you how to maybe do some reflection. So now I'm grabbing this stock image with the bubbles. They're super cool.
This is going to be interesting.
And I don't want to just drop it on the screen mode. Like, I see lots of this. Like this.
Okay.
And that's where I see that it just comped in Photoshop.
Yeah, screen mode, the layer mode is set to screen, so it removes all the black. Just really just keeps the whites. But yeah, I'm interested in seeing how you do it and why this doesn't work.
So we see that our reflections works just fine, but our refraction, the way we see through the water, it should refract the sword. It should distort the sword, and that's something we're going to do.
Sweet.
So I am just going to grab color selection, well, not color selection, but one selection. I invert it, and then I'm not going to be super precise about it, but I want to have those bubbles cut out.
Okay.
Yeah, and the image is pretty big, so again, not being super precise.
Yeah, but basically grabbing some of the bubbles, because the sword, you're basically making selections where the sword would be revealed in these bubbles.
Yep.
So exactly. You're making kind of like your distortion layer.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Good.
So again, nothing too accurate. I can use lasso tool for this. Mm-hmm. I don't think any other selection will work because, black bleeds into shape too much. So not much I can do here, but just do it by hands.
Yeah. I like it. I must say that the lasso tool is so much more effective once you, if you're working on if you're using a tablet.
Oh yeah.
Lasso tool is just feels so much easier.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Again, I said that yesterday. Just don't know how people exist without tablets. Though, I think if you have no tablet, I don't think it should stop you from trying. But if you're already doing it for some time, try tablet. It will help a lot.
And some of my favorite designers still just use a mouse. I'm still very much a mouse jockey, but when it comes to selecting things like this, that's when I'd switch to a tablet. But people can do amazing things with just a mouse. Doesn't have to be complex.
Yeah, and it's also something if people are already awesome with just using the mouse, imagine what will happen when we get tablet.
Now, okay, so there's your bubbles.
Yep, they're my bubbles.
Where's your other bubble layer? You were just kind of explaining that. I mean, because it's not. Do you have any other bubbles in there?
I will.
You got rid of them.
No, I will have other bubbles. I'm just starting with the bigger bubbles.
Yeah, for sure.
Cool. And from here, I am going to merge everything, which is Shift Control Alt E. Convert it to a smart object. And something I didn't do yesterday, but today, going to liquify, distortions.
So you did Shift Control Alt E. That merges everything onto a new layer.
Mm-hmm.
Cool.
And now we're going to use.
I feel like I could tell that you like liquify because you get very sing-songy. You're now we're going to use liquify. No, I mean, is that the case? Do you like liquify? I mean, I love it. I just think it's so much fun to bend pixels.
It is very fun. Sometimes it makes me angry because, the whole seeing other layers gets tricky. And I know there's the whole thing of opacity and seeing a particular other layer, but sometimes I'm struggling with that. But yeah.
So yeah, just so everybody knows, I don't think that's on by default, showing the backdrop. So you can sort of show the layers underneath and adjust their opacity. So you have an outline of, what you're manipulating in the background.
Mm-hmm. So I just distorted image of the sword in the overlapping bubbles. And what's important in this areas of contact with the edges, you want to use reconstruction tool and bring it back, because if it will, just do it.
Yeah.
Let's not forget those bubbles.
Oh yeah.
Okay, so
you could use, I guess you didn't really need to use the spherize. You're just using the whatever.
Yeah.
The smudge option. I should know the actual word.
When I was trying to build this comp yesterday, I tried to do the other tools, but this just worked best for me.
Yeah.
Okay, so that is done. I'm going to bring it above my layer. I'm going to do the group, and I'm going to, with Alt, bring my mask for the bubbles back. Here I'm going to change the order and put it on screen.
All right, so hopefully everybody caught that, what you just did, because yeah, you basically put them in their own layer group, which is awesome.
Yep.
And then you have the same, it's basically the same layer mask on layer one that's on group one, right?
Yep. So they have the same mask, and our sword is now in that group. So all the distortion visible just under the bubbles.
Nice.
And from here, I also would like to paint some reflections a little bit, where I'm just going to sort of almost distort it even more, but just by hand.
Oh, like painting in your own reflections and things just to smooth it out. You're a real pro.
You know, the reflections kind of get tricky, and they get distorted a lot. So
it's just so interesting seeing you work like this. We have other tools, like some people would be like, oh, try displacement map, or
we get to displacement map today.
Okay. Hey, that's cool too. Because I think a lot of things, like there's no automatic, I would like to think there's an automatic awesome button, but for the realism that you're going for, just like it literally, you're gonna have to go in there and just like be an artist about it and add those details to really sell it.
A little bit.
You know?
And I'm also going to change the color sword behind it just a little bit. So that is good. I'm happy with those bubbles. Now I'm going to add smaller bubbles.
There we go. Welcome, Peter Mercurial. Good to have you here with Sasha Vinogradova. Day 2, second design. Actually, the kind of like the third one that you've worked on in 2 days. So later on, hopefully you can do kind of a recap before the end of this day of the ones from yesterday.
Totally.
Those are awesome.
I also realizing that I'm again going through comp too fast. And if you guys have any, questions, suggestions, you want to see something later, I totally can show something else. Because I thought this comp will take longer, and so far
you're going so fast. Well, yeah, you're just, and again, you did mention that you were kind of working on this yesterday, like you were kind of prepping for today, and everything. So, I mean, how long would this, again, if you're not on Adobe Live, how would an image how long would an image take you to make one like this?
It took me about 2 hours, because the hardest part is just finding right images, because everything you see here, I'm like, oh, those bubbles totally work, because I went through another like 5 types of bubbles which didn't work, and that's why it looks so fast and easy. But there were lots of photos I tried, and I just this is already like the best option.
Have you ever tried sort of making your bubbles yourself from scratch in Photoshop?
I didn't do I didn't try to do it from scratch from Photoshop, but I actually, like, this idea came from
This is Sasha's portfolio, everybody. Prepared to be amazed.
where was it?
Stop. Look at all this cool stuff. You're killing me.
Swords.
It's like amazing.
Wait.
That's right, Jason Rose. Be the awesome button. That's our job, just to be the awesome button.
So, I did this comp before, like this cover before, and here bubbles and reflections, they were made in 3D. So I sometimes, like, that's how I usually would go about it, because if you see the bubble reflections, you can actually reflect it correctly, the whole image. But here we're kind of hacking things.
That's a beautiful cover. Can we just give again? Everybody's clapping in chat. There's like, nice,
Hooray!
So good. It's so good. So, nice. And that was a book cover commission you did, apparently. Is that right?
I used to do lots of book covers. It's one of my favorite things to do, and obviously swords. Who else will pay you for making swords?
Wow, that's really awesome.
Yeah. So it's already kind of looking right. One thing which we're obviously missing is our distortion. And in order to do that distortion, I'm going to use displace. And as you don't know, there is a filter.
I like how you, sorry, you continue. There we go. Yeah, do your thing.
Distort and displace. This will ask you to use a different file. It will ask you the horizontal scale, vertical scale, amount of distortion, and it will ask you to use external file. And what's happening, it takes that distort file, which will look like this, and I'm going to show you how I built it. And everything which is black going to be untouched, everything which is white going to be moved. So it's the map of distortion. So let me walk you through how I did this distortion thing. It's super simple. I created a comp, which is the same size as my sword comp. Then here you can see how it was building it. I'm using just a black layer, and then go to filter and render. And I think I used fibers. Yep.
Oh.
Yep.
Ah.
And from here, I adjusted the image I got.
Okay.
Convert it to a smart object.
Yeah. Taking notes.
Gaussian blur a little bit, nothing crazy.
Blur it a little.
And let's come back to our references. As you can see, that's what we're trying to recreate. We're trying to recreate this distortion, which is the strongest, closest to the, to the camera on top of the screen. And then obviously it goes away. So that's why I am using gradient. So
to answer that earlier question, looks like your gradient tool set from black to transparent.
Yep.
So you could always, you could build up to what you want.
Yep.
So
and
somebody asked that earlier. So.
Yeah, you can control your opacity on the in here, and your color is in here. So
been good. I've never used fiber before in Photoshop.
honestly, I never used it either, but yesterday I was like, huh, what? This is interesting. This kind of looks like waves.
It's awesome. It's fascinating what people can do with like clouds as well.
Oh yeah.
And what is the other one? The inverse clouds or whatever. Anyways, and make amazing textures. But here you used fiber and it's looking like waves. And I feel like the smoother it is as you play with Gaussian, the better off you're going to be. Because if it's too rough, it really jacks with your displacement map, I feel. What do you think?
Yeah. I think if I will not use the Gaussian filter on it, it will be just very jaggedy. And, waves are smooth.
Mm-hmm.
Adjusted my curves a little bit. I'm going to save it as distort 2. Cool.
And just to answer your question in there, it's under, actually, let's see who asked that. So Michelle, it's under filter, render, and that's where you'll find fibers. So clouds, difference clouds. That's what I was thinking of. Yeah, there you go.
Mm-hmm.
Sweet.
Cool. Okay, so from here, I am going to, again, merged everything. Shift Control Alt E. Then I'm going to flip my image vertically. Create mask.
Mm-hmm.
Use.
So we're basically making a reflection of the sword on the top of the water, right?
Yep. Again, let's come back to the references. Here you can see how image being reflected, but also distorted, and we will try to recreate it. And that's why before I delved into those reflections, I made sure that all the bubbles are there so we can reflect all of it.
Wow.
Okay, so from here, I'm merging everything again, convert it to smart object and filter, distort, displace. 300 and 150 were my settings. Let's see how it looks with the new distort map.
And I feel like those numbers you just have to play with.
Yep. So
okay,
that is our result. I like the way it looks, but I couldn't, and you tell me if you have better solution for this. I couldn't find the way to distort it in both ways, because pretty much when I would give it positive numbers, it will be one side, negative number, it will be another side. So I have to adjust it manually. But if you guys have better solution for this method, I am happy to hear it and learn something new.
Cool.
So I'm grabbing this and I'm just going to distort it.
Yeah.
And mask it a little bit here. Cool.
Yeah. Okay.
So we're kind of getting there.
Mm-hmm.
And now, let's see how it was originally. So yeah, that was not too far. Kind of close. Yeah. Oh,
no, it looks...
Wait, where where did it go? Crazy. Just did the distortion thing.
Hello, Anika. Good to see you here as well. Yeah, so I don't know how you distort to both left and right side. So that's just FYI.
I don't know what happened. I just totally lost it.
What did I don't. Did you just lose your distortion that you just did? Oh.
Yeah, I did. I don't know what happened.
I kind of like it when that reflection touches the top of the sword, so you know it's like connected.
Yeah, that would be cool. Let's
But
do that.
I'm not the art director.
Okay, let's do that.
You're the art director.
Well, Paul, today you are directing, so deal with that.
This is the peanut gallery. But yeah, it's works so much better than like, there's other distortion tools. Like if you go into filter under distort, there's things called wave and zigzag, you know, and all those.
Yeah, I tried those, and my problem with that was it was just I couldn't find nice horizontal look which would fade. So
plus it's very procedural, like you're using a source image to define your ripples. With ripple or wave, you're just using some coordinates that it's indiscriminate of the image.
Yep. So for example, in here, like what I don't like now, that it distorts the image of the sword too much in here. And you know, you would usually have a gradation that it will be less distort in here and more distort in here. So because I have this external image, I'm just going to try to adjust it.
Okay.
And see what happened.
Okay, so that's going to give it less distortion down there. All right.
Yep. Let's see how it looks.
Do it. I wish there was an easier way to do this too, by the way. I wish, honestly, the image was just somehow linked and you could just hit update or something.
Oh, I know. I'm like hacking my way through it. Okay, let's do it again. Distort, displace, okay.
Hotkey to cut to a new layer. Anytime you paste, anytime you do a copy and paste, it'll do something to a new layer. I don't know what you're asking specifically, Matt.
So as you can see, it did it, but
it could be even more drastic.
Yes.
Even brighter at the top.
Yep, exactly. That's what.
Well, this is fun. I mean, I really like actually seeing these results, by the way. Like, nice. This is really helpful. Just kind of seeing how this reacts.
Nice. So yes, so we have control of how much we want to distort things. So I'm adjusting it again, saving the my distort map again, and let's repeat.
Let's do it. Mash those layers onto a new layer. Convert it to a smart object.
Let's see if I'm just going to drag and drop. Will it? Do you think it picked up the new map?
I don't think so.
It did.
Oh, wait. Yeah. Are you saying it's linked?
So what happened? Check this out. I
updated your image.
Yes, I created smart object, and then I with Alt brought the previous filter, and it automatically, it did it. It updated the map.
Nice.
Cool. So I think this is looking better. You know, maybe to make it even more contrasty on top, but I think I'm happy with the way it looks now.
And I could imagine, you know, after sort of, you know, distorting it yourself or using liquify, you would kind of go in and by hand adjust some of those ripples yourself.
I didn't, but I think it's totally possible to do.
Yeah, I could see you going there and like tweaking it. But I love it. I like I like how it's mirroring the bubbles and the sword. And a little magic there. You're holding down the Alt key, I think, maybe.
No, I think it's just, I'm not sure what I'm doing. Like, you know, my hands just remembering it, but
yeah,
there was no Alt.
Okay. I should check.
And I'm just fixing the edge a little bit.
Oh, you're right. It's Command key, at least on the Mac. Probably Control key on PC.
Probably.
Yeah, if you're transforming something and want to distort the corners, hold down Command Control.
So yeah, it's Control T. And then I'm just going to distort, and it just
But
does
here's
it.
you don't even know. Okay, undo that. Just do your Control T again. And now instead of going to that submenu, hold down the Control key.
Paul, let's do it every day. I learned so much from you. This is awesome.
No, well, I didn't know. Actually, somebody on the live stream taught me that when I was doing a live stream. Somebody taught me that. I was like, wow, I've never done that before.
That is
and
great.
I think it was like a lead designer or somebody who's like 10 years old was like, you can hold down the command key on a Mac or Control on PC, and you can adjust the corners.
Yep. That is awesome. I'm going to use it every day.
Yeah, don't forget, it's awfully nice. And this is looking way cool. Somebody's asking like where the light is coming from. I don't know if that really matters here.
Light is coming from up top, and it's something we're going to do next.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. Of course it matters, silly me. That doesn't matter. Light, nah. I just figured it's very, very diffused, so it's hard to tell exactly where it's coming from.
So people gave me a hard time yesterday for not organizing my files.
No, I find it comforting personally.
So I'm just going to totally do that. So I feel a little better about myself.
Oh.
In my defense, when my files are going to someone else, I organize them. Always organize your files. So that's what we're doing.
Yeah, I'm definitely not a stickler for organizing like layers. Like if it usually name things the first thing that pops into my head, that's what I'll name a layer. And it might be a ridiculous name, but I know it's just like I go with gut instinct, name it that. If I'm the only one that's messing with it. Like it sounds like you don't name your layers at all if you're just working on a book cover for a client.
I do. You want to have an organized file in the end, but sometimes, while you're just jamming along and trying to figure out how it looks.
There's no time to organize. You're too busy creating. You could do that afterward, kind of like you're doing now. It's like, okay, now it's like cleaning up your desk.
Yep.
At the end of the day, like maybe put away all these 5 cups. Why are there 5 here? Why are there empty layers in this layers panel? I don't know.
Yeah, I always find like 10 empty layers. Just like, I guess I thought about something here, but then I changed my mind.
Yeah. I love how you can like again, with your files get really large, you can kind of sort through your smart object layers and all that stuff.
Yeah.
Because I think if you're sharing files, smart objects kind of become a thing, because if they're linked to a library item, that might be an issue when you try to share the file.
So something here I want to discuss. We're jumping into the lighting. So now I'm going to do all the fun stuff with the lighting. And I want to have a little bit of gradation in here. And I love using linear dodge add blending mode for this kind of stuff. You have to be very subtle with that. So as you can see, I picked very dark blue, and it already affected my image so much. If I'm going to go with crazy colors, like, with not even crazy colors, but with regular colors, it will just, whites will be too white and just not looking right. So when I use add, I use it in a very subtle way. But I feel like this blended mode is the best when you need to create some magic, some magical, lighting, and some kind of, light of the beautiful day coming in. So this is the magical blended mode.
Color dodge.
Yep. So anytime you need to add some magic, I'm just sort of showing you. I'm going to remove this layer later, and even when you duplicate it multiple times, it's going to be even more magical.
I'm into it.
Yeah, and then you can use the smudges and do some other fun stuff.
And are you just doing some cool swooshies in the background sort of thing? Is that what's happening? So
I'm,
swooshy
I'm,
colors over the top?
I'm just showing people what color dodge, the linear dodge does, but I'm going to remove this one. It's like if you...
I love it.
Yeah.
Continue.
If you wanted to have some magical swooshes going on.
We want to know all those magical swooshes. It's like you did yesterday with your blurred plants or leaves and stuff in front of that woman's face that were green, you know, and some of the bokeh effects. Like, I like it when you add that stuff because I think it adds to the realism of it all. Yeah,
I think that for sure helps.
Would you do a bokeh here? I mean, it is underwater. Like, would you?
Totally can. Let's do it. So yeah, let's using the same method from yesterday, where I'm just going to do a couple. That's when I get lazy and I'm like, I don't want to look for the photo of the bokeh.
You need to start using, you know, CC libraries, your CC libraries panel in Photoshop.
I know, yes, for sure.
Because I open up my library panel and I just type in bokeh and then I drag that file in.
Yeah.
But again, you don't have to, but.
No, I should. Let's try.
Who am I to tell you what to do, by the way? Like you're the one that just searched through Google on a brilliant book design you did because you didn't even have it in your portfolio, and it was amazing.
I learned so much from you on those 2 days. So let's do it. Where am I?
You want to go to up to window. Up at the top, go to window, and libraries.
Cool.
So this is your libraries panel. Admittedly, sometimes like it takes a second to load. So, but just click OK. So now you have my library. So now that you have this bokeh done, drag that layer into that library panel or the image. Yeah, just drag it into like whatever you want to keep.
Really?
Yeah, just drag it in there. Or actually, no, create a new library. So sorry, hit the plus button right up, create new library. Might ask you to, yeah, there you go. And you just be like, whatever, miscellaneous, it's okay.
Okay.
Even though I don't know if that's really organizing if you're titling something miscellaneous.
Okay. And now
now you can just drag it into that folder. Right now it just calls it layer 1. You can rename it, but at least it's there. So I typically, so even when I purchase, so you've been purchasing assets through Adobe Stock.
Yeah.
You could just download to your library.
Huh. That's
directly to your library. And then it's named and all that good stuff, like whatever you searched on. So anyways, now you have it.
Nice.
And there's public libraries out there and yada, yada, yada.
Love it. Nice. Yeah, I mean, we do the same work over and over again so many times.
Yep, and if you're like me, like I literally have a nature folder and I've cut out all my flowers and all my skulls and all my leaves, and they're all in my library panel. And I go there and I just scroll down like, oh, let's use that same flower I've always been using.
I should totally do that to have all my crowns and swords in one place.
I know, it's like somebody's doing battle. Swords and crowns and shield and crests and sigils.
Cool. Okay, so from here, I am, so we have a little bit of this lighting going on. One thing I want to do, like if you look, like this is not the right references because we do not see metal, but if you see photo of metal underwater, it will have those glows around bright parts. So I'm going to recreate that. Just going to, again, merge everything, lose the saturation, Control L will bring me to the levels. It's, it's not an adjustment layer. I will not be able to control it later, but I'm doing it for my selection. So it's okay that it's distractive for this particular part. And I'm isolating the brightest parts. So the parts where I want the glow to be. This was too much.
Yeah,
Okay.
I love this.
And
Okay.
click OK. And using this map for my selection, and for that I'm going to channels with control, clicking on my RGB and hiding it. So I will not need it anymore. It's in my selection. Then from here again, Shift Control E, merging everything. Then clicking on a mask. So now if you see, like that is my selection. Convert it to a smart object and blur in it.
Oh, yes. Ooh, now this looks magical.
Yep.
I think this makes it look pretty magical.
And we can play with different layer modes. And also you even can have multiple, you know, layers, one with more glow and another with less glow. So it's...
And you have that set to screen. That looks really good. Makes it look nice and soft.
Yeah, and you know, also important not to overdo it. So I'm just going to, yeah, this is cool. And just that, I think, blends everything much better. Looks better to me.
Yeah.
And from here, I'm going to add some of the God rays. Oh gosh, I totally forgot one thing. What I forgot,
Okay.
I forgot to add some of the wave texture on my sword. It will not add too much to the sword because, you know, it's already like complex and it's not such a big shape. But if I had any other object, that would be very crucial and important and helpful, because as you can see in here,
yes,
those lights help a lot. So I'm going to do that anyway.
Yeah, I'm totally interested in how you do that. I love how the light on her shoulder kind of wraps around her shoulder and down. So the lighting is distorted on her body or mapped to it, which is cool.
It is very cool. I will not be able to do that because, you know, my shape is pretty, no, it's a square. But if I had to do that, I would bring my layer there, and then I would, like, actually, you know, it would be fun to try with some other photo. Maybe we can do that if we will have time.
But in the short of it is you would somehow distort that into place, whether you're using distort or liquify, right?
Oh,
and all that kind of stuff.
Yep. Okay, so we have this texture, and I just need to isolate the bright spots on that. I'm going to go to channels. You can scroll through RGB. Red is good. I want white to be a little stronger. So I'm copying my red channel, bringing it to in here. Control L again. See, it's not adjustment layer. I'm doing it straight to the pixels, but it's fine because I'm going to use it for selection. I'm just boosting it up a little bit more. And coming back to my selection, again with control.
Control click, yeah.
Here, I sometimes like using solid color rather than just, you know.
Because you don't want that blue in there, do you? Or do you? Well, maybe you do. You want a light color. Maybe you want a blue. It doesn't matter if you're using a solid color. You can change it at any time.
Yep. So, and that would be my map here.
Want to welcome Wendoli from Mexico. Good to have you here with Sasha Vinogradova. As you can see, yeah, just doing her magic. And this is basically like poster design number 3. Really, this is going to be interesting. And
Hopefully.
quick time check as well, just so you know. So we've been going for about 50 minutes. And so
And
we have about 40 minutes before we would typically dive into our artist spotlight.
that's perfect. And okay. So as I said, it will not be like, it will not affect image too much, my image, because I don't have, it's sort of small, and like if I had something else submerged, like, a portrait, it would be much more visible. And also something I want to do, I want to adjust my colors on this guy.
And so, Sasha, you said something yesterday, which is like obviously really good advice that you got from your art teacher a long time ago. It's like, if you feel like it's not needed, remove it.
Yes.
But I feel like you had these little details that really, they're like little details, but they really help the piece. I don't know.
Yeah,
makes
sometimes
sense.
Totally makes sense. And this still helps in the end, but I'm also trying to show. I'm also trying to show something which other people can use, and I think it's very important to have. Cool. So I'm sort of happy with that. Grouping it, and then picking my selection from the sword, and have a mask layer for that. So we have a little bit of those streaks. If you want, you can go even crazier with that. I don't like it here weirdly, like I like it on the blade. So I'm going to remove it in here, and the blue color I went with is just a little too saturated, so I'm bringing it back. And still too blue. So I'm going to adjust the color of entire group, which is, I'm going to bring it above the group and
groups inside of groups.
Oh yeah, that's
clipping masks.
My file's like Inception. I'm just merging deeper and deeper and deeper in subconscious. Cool. Okay, I'm happy with that. And now I'm going to adjust more lighting on the sword. I think this is too bright. I'm going to bring curves.
It looks good.
Oh, my curves just all over the place, jumping.
That's looking good. You know what? Since adjusting it there, it's like the bubbles and the sword are like both the subject matter. I don't know. It just looks good. It's hard to describe.
Ooh. Okay, so what I was doing before, I was bringing quadrates. Let's do it.
What are you bringing in? The little underwater light rays?
Yep.
Oh yeah, look at that. Special.
Yeah, I'm going to adjust this lighting because it's, purely upside down, not angled, my lighting on the sword, so I'm matching it. And it's obviously a little too much. I am just in saturation, just in curves. My curves being...
Would you do a blend mode on this?
Yeah, this is on screen.
Oh, it's on the screen already. Mm-hmm. Got it. That's... guys, are you not impressed, huh? Michaela, I see you there. Wade, are you impressed? I'm impressed. Kimmy? I love the lighting. I think these light rays, again, you're adding elements of magic.
Hey, lighting is everything.
And is it fun? Like, I feel like you're having fun, like making cool stuff. Like this is fun for you, yeah?
It's always lots of fun. It's especially like, that process of final unifying layers where your comp just didn't look good, and then you're like, oh, now I think it's kind of working, and that's the most fun.
Yeah, that gets exciting. You're like, now I'm starting to impress myself. So that's really good. Yeah, I don't change the tone to highlights and color balance like you do. You're mastering all of these adjustment layers. If you guys have any questions for Sasha, let us know. Juliana says massive. Priyanka's impressed. Welcome, Priyanka. I also saw a question from Annabelle earlier. We'll talk about, 3D and, your workstation for doing 3D. We'll do that at some point.
I'm trying to look at the chat too. So sorry, yeah. I missed a whole bunch of questions probably. Sometimes
you're it's my job to keep track of chat. You're good.
Okay. I think we are almost done here, but we'll see. So this is my lighting. And even if I did this selection, like the glow around bright spots, I kind of want to paint it a little bit more on the here. Oh, wrong brush.
Wrong one of the two brushes you use.
Yep.
So you're gonna have just add a little bit of pop to the handle.
Just a touch.
I'm sure that has a specific name, that little guard for your hand on a sword.
I should know that at this point, but I still don't.
Does anybody know the name of that little guard for your hand on a sword? Maybe somebody can help us.
So I think I'm done with comping, and now I'm going to do just some color correction, which is obviously, as always, we'll go to everyone's favorite.
We want to see.
Camera filter.
This is good.
Paul, how many times per day you see someone applying camera filter?
No, I love it. I love having you kind of like see you do this last step, because you did this yesterday. No, actually you did a chromatic aberration.
Oh, we're going to do that too.
Oh, okay. But here you're just kind of tweaking it and punching it up some.
Yeah. So I like boosting whites. That's this like magical glow to it, but it's important not to go too crazy. I already lost, information in here, but I think it's fine for this particular image. But yeah, you don't want to go like this where it's just overblown. Okay, let's see.
For some images, like I guess you might.
Here it is. There's
like, clarity.
Yeah, it's with some clarity because we're underwater.
This is fun. Oh, it's called a cross guard. The little hand protector thingy, as somebody also said. But thank you, Mercurial and Sean, and anti-ouchie thing. Close. And thank you, Kimmy and Clever. You probably approach images differently depending on its final output. So sort of a book versus an Instagram post. Instagram's gonna, I tend to think you need to amp things up just like a touch more with Instagram, because they're going to be viewing them, very small.
I actually don't. I'm just going with whatever looks good on the screen. I don't know.
Hello, Bazay. Good to have you here, reading your comments. I'm so glad everybody's joining us from all over. Bazay's from Nepal. Had, I can't see her, Aisha from Pakistan. Is that correct? That's cool. I love the, what are you doing now?
I'm just.
Oh, yay, you're doing color lookup. I'm so sorry. I was reading comments. I'm so glad you did this just to kind of share it with everybody. And it's just, I'm so glad you're doing this.
This is my favorite part.
Yeah, right? It's so much fun.
Yeah, what to it? What to it? Where am I going with that?
So Sasha's going through different color lookups or LUTs or whatever you want to call them, lookup tables. They're basically a combination of a bunch of adjustment layers that, that have been made. And you can actually load up some of your own.
Yeah.
I know some of your own or some that other people have. So yeah, on Discover. So anyways, what do you got a Fuji, simulating a Fuji camera?
Yeah. And sometimes I'm always torn apart between should I keep it like vintagey or should I throw more film stock crazy contrast. So I'm always torn apart between two completely different options. And often I just blend them.
Oh yeah. Can you make it a touch larger? Just so everybody can see it in all its glory or whatever. Just whatever's easy for you, because I really like seeing these colors change and everything.
Yeah, the reason why I'm looking at such a small scale, it's just I want to see it as a thumbnail, and because this will be hard for me to judge, but this I just know better what's going on in terms of the colors.
Okay. Just kind of allows you to step back and take it in easier. What are you, and you're on your PC, what sort of screen do you have? What size?
I have two Dells.
Two Dells?
Two Dells, and this is 4K screen. I'm not sure about the size. It's pretty big.
Okay. No, it's good.
Cool. And I think our very final touches, sort of. I also use this guy as a some of the camera dust.
Yeah, look at you, camera dust. This is another pro tip that I think really sells images.
Oh yeah. As you can see, this is way too busy. So I'm going to adjust that.
So this is an example of something I'd throw in your library, since you are often using it. Or as long as you have it somewhere handy. I'm not here to mess up your process.
No,
That's
I'm
great.
totally going to do that. And you can see this is almost black and white when we have this blue vibe going on. So I need to adjust that too. And I'm going to adjust highlights because that's where the color is. Okay.
Yeah, I think a lot of us would have stopped like 30 minutes ago and said, "Oh, it's good, perfect." But you keep adding to it, and it's like, "Oh wow, that looks good. That looks good. That looks good."
Yeah, I hope so.
Oh, it could look like a movie cover. Well, yes. You should kind of do that for a living, Sasha. You should do like title art for a living or something.
Maybe I'll look into it in the future.
You should look into that.
So something to explain. I'm going to add noise. Well, obviously there are many ways to add noise to unify everything. My way is just I throw either white or black, then I do Control U, which is this hue saturation. I know I go -50 because I know this is pure gray. And what's happening, I'm going to put this noise, future noise, into soft light or overlay mode. And when it's purely gray, it does not affect your image at all. So it affects, if it's lighter than gray, it will bring highlights up. If it's darker than gray, it will darken it. So cool. By default, -50%.
Can I show you? Can I show you another shortcut with this?
Please.
So look at you. So just kind of turn off that layer. We're going to make a new layer. This is just a quick shortcut. Hold down the Option key or your Alt key, and then click on the plus sign to add a new layer.
Plus sign.
Right in the bottom. Oh, sorry. Go to the bottom of your layers panel and hold down Option or Alt. Click. Now what you want to do is you want to change that to soft light, because that's what you're going to do, or overlay. But either way, change it to soft light. And then underneath that, it says fill with soft light neutral color. You might have known that. I don't know.
I totally didn't. I totally didn't. This is amazing.
Yeah.
This is fantastic. So yeah, convert it to a smart object. And I learn like my yearly share of new Photoshop knowledge from you, Paul. Every time we do that.
And again, it's something that Tim Mobest showed me that a couple of years ago. So it's a community effort. You stay on here long enough, guess what? You get to know everything. You don't even realize it. She's like, wow, I know stuff. Oh, and I'm loving the depth of all this. So beautiful.
Okay, our last step, chromatic aberration. Favorite
all right,
thing.
Here we go, people. This is a new one too. This is probably new to everybody because I've never seen this before. And I literally was up last night thinking about it.
So
like, that is crazy.
What I did, I merged everything again, brought it to a new comp. I think it has to be only one layer for this to work. Maybe something changed. And I'm going to do it twice. I'm going to offset 1 pixel for my central objects, and I'm going to offset it 2 pixels for water because that's where you can see chromatic aberration. So I'm going to do, I'm moving red and blue channels. And you can see the chroma appeared. So I'm grabbing this, Control A, Control C, bringing it into my comp. And then I'm going to do the same thing again, but move my red and blue channels even more. You see it became more drastic.
Zoom in on that. I don't know if at least get to the point where people could really see the sort of the offset. Yeah, does everybody see that offset? It's kind of like an eye chart. It's kind of hard to see.
Yeah.
But that's that chromatic aberration.
Yep. So I'm grabbing it again and bring it into my comp. Yeah. So I have 2 layers, one with a small offset here and one with a big offset.
Okay.
So I'm going to just use one with, you know what, I'm going to offset it even more because it's not visible. Okay, this should be visible. So that strong chroma, I'm going to use only on my waves part and some of the light part, because that's where the camera usually gets all wonky. And also something to remember, you see it creates this weird thing on the sides. So I'm just going to use the mask to remove it.
So Priyanka says so you can't use chromatic aberration in Camera Raw filter. I don't know if you can. I've never used it in Camera Raw.
I haven't seen it. Maybe I just missed it.
I'm gonna trying it out now.
But yeah, I think we are kind of done with this image, and let's see that Camera Raw chromatic aberration if it's there.
Okay.
Well, yeah, that is pretty much how I did this comp. It could be any other image. It doesn't have to be a sword, obviously. Just pick something with matching lighting, something ideally top-down lighting or maybe 45 degrees lighting, and could be any other object.
That looks amazing.
Should we try to recreate this on some image?
Yeah,
Or
I think we could do whatever you want. And just so you know, we have time. So we have 20 minutes till we do our spotlight, our artist spotlight, but then we'll have time after that as well. So I would estimate we still have like 35 plus minutes.
cool.
So
Okay,
yeah,
let's do it. If you guys have anything else you want to see, I am.
Matt says truly amazing. Marsha, awesome, awesomer, excellent, fabulous.
Let's see before and after.
So Priyanka says you can go in and remove the chromatic aberrations. I'm wondering if you can go in and add them. So you typically can select your lens and your like at least your lens or whatever to remove that, but like to add it would be the question. So
yeah. Okay, let's go and find something cool on Adobe stock.
Find something cool. Sasha's happy because she starts singing a little bit or talking in a sing-song tone. I do the same thing. I'm gonna do this now. I'm just talking to myself because I'm home by myself all day. You're working from home as well, yeah, or no? Or I don't know. Tell me.
Yeah.
Okay.
Working from home and love it and hate it. You know, on one hand, miss just talking to people, going for coffee and stuff. Okay, this will be perfect, I think.
Oh yeah, that's pretty good. That dramatic sort of top-down lighting is good for sort of like an underwater type.
Yep.
Okay, so in there, did you license already? So you could save to. Did you save? Oh, you saved to My Library.
Yeah.
So it's saved in your My Library. So go back in My Library. Assuming you're logged in as the same person.
I am.
Oh yeah, look at all those images.
Yeah.
So you've used it before.
I didn't.
No, you just did. It's okay. I love it. I love it. But isn't that great? It's like right there. It's like, oh, that's easy.
I love it.
You're like, I did it.
Cool. Look at that.
So this is nice. I sense another brilliant.
Let's submerge the lady underwater.
Yeah,
because why not? We have time.
It's a spa. It's her spa day.
It's
okay. It's not a scary scene we're making. It's a spa day. We got time. We got 15 minutes before we do a review. I'll have 15 minutes afterward.
Well, okay. If we have 15 minutes, let's try to do the. I can try to go and do all the jazz with bubbles and stuff, but we wanted to play with. There is a name for it. Caustics. Caustics?
Caustics?
I think. Maybe I'm wrong, but someone in the chat should know.
Yeah. Caustic is the envelope of light rays reflected or refracted by a curved surface or object. So yes, it is caustics. So it's being bent based on the waves of the water. Look at us, we're learning new terms. We're getting so smart.
Okay, I'm going to grab my waves.
Oh yeah, Uriel's developing a whole storyline, it sounds like. She's the lady underwater that's going to grab the sword.
Love it.
And emerge as the queen of the new empire.
Wow, epic.
Yeah, epic. Thank you, Wade. It's caustics. Good to know.
How should we go about it? I think we would have to kind of go separately a little bit and create separate looks for it. I have, again, my references on my other screen. So I see the way those caustics look on that other girl. So sorry if you guys can see it.
I see it. This will be interesting.
Yeah, I'm experimenting here, so.
Start distorting. Let us know if you have questions as well. We're learning new terms. We've learned caustics. We've learned cross guard. It's going to protect your hand if you're ever in a sword battle.
Yep.
And we know Freddie is actually Jesus Ramirez's real name. So there's your word trivia for the day.
Yeah.
And right now you're just kind of playing around with it. Like you don't know what results you're going to get yet. You're just playing, right?
Yes, I'm just playing. I kind of know what I'm going for. I know how I want it to look in the final stage. And I'm just hoping that that's what I will get, but I have no idea.
I like how you are on what size monitor? Just like a 30-inch monitor.
And I'm just like right there.
And your thumbnail is so small and you're leaning in so far. You got a big monitor, lady. Feel free. Use that thing. I'm just kidding with you.
I feel like most of the artists are just like, okay, should I look at this from this perspective or from this perspective?
I don't know why we tilt our heads sometimes. Like I'll be like, oh, I'm definitely thinking about something. I'm like, it would be just funny to just record you in a day or, just kind of see your mannerisms, would just be entertaining.
That's probably will be entertaining, but nothing interesting.
It's just a lot of leaning in, leaning out, turn your head.
Yep.
It would be me grabbing another cup of water, setting it down next to all my other 5 cups of water that I have on my desk, because that's not a hazard. That's what I do.
I spilled my water on the tablet like at least once every 6 months. I'm so grateful to Vacuum that I'm not sure that they're, waterproof, but at least they're waterproof enough that they can hold it.
They can handle.
Yeah.
You're really pushing the limits of that thing.
Yeah.
Yep. That's funny.
So I kind of like all the distortions in here. So I'm going to just paint.
Sounds like everybody else does neck exercises as well when they work. They're all, they crook their head.
I just looked at the reference and what's happening. You see those lines in the bright areas, but there's none of it in the shadows.
Yeah. And here you have a situation where you need to work on color and lightness and stuff, but you're establishing the shape first and then you'll dive into the color of the...
Yep. I'm just totally working on the mask image rather than the visual, rather than the blending modes and stuff.
No, I think tilting of the head is very much ingrained in us, as in a different way to look at something. That's what I think it is. I don't know. Maybe the information is on one side of your head and you got to flop it over to the other.
Maybe.
You're trying to catch the idea or the whatever you're searching for.
Okay, cool. And now I'm going to merge everything and I'm going to...
Thank you, Unicorn. Need to stretch your neck every now and then. Let's make sure we're doing our stretches, or at least get loose, relax those shoulders. Why not? Unlike her, she's about to become queen of the empire. So she's like, here I go. I'm going to grab that sword and I'm going to save my friend from the evil forest that turned her green.
You know that.
And then I'm going to go save my other friend from entrapped in the vines. So she's got a full day ahead of her.
Yeah, it's a busy schedule.
Busy schedule. Saving 2 friends from the forest based on the designs that we did yesterday that will hopefully show. Lots going on. Oh, there we go.
Yep.
Geez, I turn away for 1 second and look what you did. Did you do that all in camera raw?
Let me digest something here.
You do your thing.
Yeah, I did it in a camera raw. One thing which is very important, when you do exposure as adjustment layer, it does not give you the same result as camera raw. So I always go with camera raw for when I need to adjust my shadows or brightness colors. So I like where it's going. I think it should be stronger in here, and here it should be a little bit more blurry. So I'm just going to hide this again and keep working on my mask first. So
cool. Keep working away. Uriel, that's a good call. Like if you're working on something, and a lot of people will flip their designs. If something seems off, a lot of artists or illustrators will do that. Something, you know, and again, it's just a different way of looking at the same image that I don't usually do, but
I do not do it either, and I should. I see like legit artists do it often.
I might try that. Like, I don't know. And there's a way, so let's just get out of that. Under view, there's flip horizontal, just so everybody knows. So it doesn't actually flip your content, it just flips your view. So you don't want to go into image, you know, flip canvas horizontal. You want to flip the view. So anyway, let us know if you have questions. We have Sasha here for another half hour.
Oh wow, half an hour. We will submerge so many things into the water. Okay, it's kind of getting there. I'm going to just highlights for it even more. Cool. And one thing I see and I want to do, like if you look at this reference, see again, chromatic aberration.
Ooh.
Red and blue.
I don't know if I would have noticed that if you didn't tell me about it. So, or at least not how to create it.
Yeah. And let's try to do that.
Natika is asking not to distract you.
What? Yeah.
But do you ever use blend if?
No.
Under your,
you mean the
under your layer sort of layer options. So if you pick any layer and you just double click on it.
I don't.
Like no, just if you, and I don't use it either, but yeah, if you double click on a layer, just like double click on it, I'll just show you where it is. Just and yeah, there we go.
Oh yeah,
right there.
I use those sometimes for the sky and clouds and
okay.
Not often, but mostly for landscape work.
Okay, cool.
Okay, so let's see. We have red and blue. Red goes up, blue goes down.
We got all the smart people here. Uriel's just talking about chromatic aberration. Everybody is, but I guess the waves create a prism and it splits the light into colors and it puts the red on top, I guess, and the blue below because they're different wavelengths.
Mind blowing.
Yeah. No, you're talking crazy. What is this?
Oh, I brought that and now I'm going to mask it because it's not everywhere. It's just on some places.
Gabriel, welcome. A fan of Blend If.
So yeah, I think it's kind of getting there.
Yeah, I think so too. And on your second monitor, is that where you have the reference?
Yeah, they turned black and white for some reason. Maybe because I'm. Yeah. Cool.
I'm just
so
trying
this
to...
is our one reference, second reference. We obviously need to have more light in here. So on her face, let's do that.
So yeah, Gabriel, we're trying to see if, Photoshop can correct chromatic aberration. It's just a matter of automatically sort of creating it yourself, which is what you've been doing. You've been creating it yourself by hand, which looks good.
Cool. I probably should be answering some questions or something.
No, you're good.
I'm so like, oh, I never done this before. I want to try.
And you seem excited about it. And I think like people produce their best work when they're just like excited about trying something. You know,
That's
and
exciting.
right now you're kind of tackling one of the hardest sort of lighting situations, like at least that I can think of, you know, which is chromatic aberration underwater. We're all learning that term.
Yeah.
Ooh, Gabriel, you do it manually? You guys are fancy. I've never even done it before. Jeez, you guys are good. Italo, welcome.
Oh, I think I'm happy with that. Let's submerge her now.
It's looking amazing. And in 3 minutes, we'll do our portfolio artist spotlight, just so you know.
Okay. Well,
you knocked that out. You're like, oh, 20 minutes? Yeah, let me make something awesome again, huh? You want some more? How about this? You want me to just make something on the fly, Paul? Sure, I'll rise to the challenge. Let's throw some bubbles in there. Why not? That's why you should work for like Apple or something. I can see you working there as like an art director. They would benefit so much from you. So Fury, she was making the chromatic aberration using the channels panel, offsetting the red and the blue channels. But if you got another way, happy to hear it.
Let's try that map we just a while ago created. Displace, distort, displace, okay. Ha-ha!
Look at that. I turned away for 1 second and you knocked it out. Oh yeah, Gabriel, that's a great idea. Using the blending options in the layer to sort of only check red or blue and have that layer offset. That's a great call. Good job, Gabriel. You're the man. Looking good.
Okay, let's do the same thing with lighting. I'm just doing the same thing I did with the sword.
Yeah, do your thing. We'll cover sort of playing with the advanced blend modes for chromatic aberration and see if that appeals to you at some point.
We'll cover what?
Advanced blending.
Ooh,
so,
yeah.
Sasha, it's just something that we'll show you and see if it works for you. We don't have to do it now. I want to make sure we get to the artist spotlight. So if we have time, it's easy.
You're like, please stop.
No, you're good. Oh, look at this. It's looking gorgeous. Like even those layers that you had. Stop it already, Sasha.
Fun.
Just done in like 20 minutes.
Okay, let's do the favorite thing.
Hi, Farah. Farah Manley's in the house. Good to see ya. Matt. It's magical.
Yeah, I know. It's like the
Magic
magic of the camera raw.
Mm-hmm.
Do I want texture or I want no texture?
Oh.
Okay. And this fun stuff.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that's looking good. That's looking good.
Such a nice photo. See, it's like no problem to create something nice when you just start with a nice photo.
And you know what to do. It's very good. Looks amazing.
I can go through them so long. And, you know, the final thing again. The word of the day, chromatic aberration.
Do you want to see a different way to do this?
Yeah.
So just go to your new layer, wherever you were in that new, just so it's nice and clean, or just go to where you copied and pasted this file. Yeah, just so it's nice. So duplicate that background layer. There we go. And now, so good. And double click on that layer to bring up the layer options. So double click on layer 1. There we go. Now you can uncheck, say, green and blue right there in the center on the right, on channels, under advanced blending. So you could uncheck one of those. So that's what, and then click OK. Now offset it though. So like zoom in and you might need, now you can offset that layer.
Perfect. You see what's happening. That's awesome.
And again, that's, was it Justin Roy that mentioned that? Thank you so much. I've forgotten. Yeah.
Whoever just told me that this is amazing, I'm going to use it all the freaking time. So
yeah, you like it?
I love it. It's so much easier. I don't have to go into a different layer comp. So everything I did before, forget about it. This is the way to do it.
You're funny. That's awesome. Well, you're amazing. Looks like you have some files to clean up and stuff.
Yeah.
I want to shift gears and dive into the artist spotlight, if you don't mind.
Nice.
That works for you.
Oh, Gabrielle is here. Hi, Gabrielle. Sorry.
Yeah, Gabrielle has been really helpful.
Yeah, like Gabrielle is awesome. You should check out his work.
Oh man, another amazing artist. So many. I'm really in awe of all the awesome people that have joined us in chat. Oh, move this over. Zip. All right. Yeah, and I want to welcome, if I could zoom in on this, the one and only Jacob Ferguson. He is our artist spotlight that we're going to focus on now. Jacob Ferguson, J Ferguson TV, if you want to check out his site from Sarasota, Florida. And Sasha, it sounds like you know this guy.
I do. Gabriel from chat earlier knows him too. We actually, I don't think he has his latest stuff in here, but we worked on the title Barcelona, and he actually was one of the directors in there. So,
really?
Yeah, it was really fun.
I wonder if that's in his portfolio. So I know he has FITC Amsterdam. So he has stuff here, but then you can also go to his site. If I could just click on that as well and check out his work in here. It's like obviously amazing. I want to find out more about him. Looks like he uses After Effects, Photoshop, Illustrator, Designer, and Animator.
Yeah.
So that's cool. Oh, went Ringling College of Art and Design down there in Sarasota, Florida. So lives probably near his alma mater. And again, a number of his works that we could look through Behance or even out here on his website, which also looks good. But come on now, can we just kind of click into some of these? Can we just stop it already? Look at this. Okay, so
Some
this is what
awesomeness.
I'm so happy about, and that's what I'm glad on his website. And he kind of talks about the software that he uses, his techniques. This is what I want to see like in a portfolio. This is awesome. And this is just a personal project. Uses a lot of 3D, it sounds like. ZBrush, Cinema 4D, DAZ Studio, right?
Full package.
Yeah, Surtur, that's awesome. Very cool. Scrolling through some of this work. I'm just picking a couple of these. Sasha, if you want me to go to one specific, I was going to look for his Off Barcelona.
I feel like everything he does is awesome. So
Ares, the god of war. Can we just marvel at all this detail? I love this. I'm curious about these little like sparks flying. I don't know if those were added in Photoshop or done in 3D or what.
I don't think it's compositing, but you never know.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's so good. But you could see kind of some of these details. And again, we're not picking this apart or anything. We're just honoring Jacob is awesome. Like, some of that sort of dust back there, that you've added these layers as well. You can see this chromatic. Now that we're talking about it, I can see a lot of this chromatic aberration in here.
Yeah.
So good. I love it. Now I feel like I've been failing myself by not adding it. It's going to be everywhere now.
Yeah, it's hard to stop when you start.
It's a good final, final pass with something. Mm-hmm. Captain Marvel. Just kind of reading up on this.
Yeah, lots of 3D, lots of awesome compositing.
Can we just have some fun watching this? I don't know, are we gonna get in trouble? I'm gonna make sure it's not playing any music. Mm-hmm. But apparently played a role in the closing credits for Captain Marvel. No big deal. Huh? So good. Very cool.
Yep.
Here. Hey, let's win an Emmy.
Some Emmy, yeah.
Here's an Emmy award winning. I don't know for what show this is. Oh, Stars and MRC of Digital Imaginary Forces for Counterpart. Very nice.
That was very pretty.
I love the tone of this, and that's what you have to do as a designer, sort of working for studios and things. Like, they're not really about your style, but how can you sort of adapt to what the art director has in mind or the client has in mind at the end of the day, and seems to do a good job.
Yep.
Let's take a look at this FITC Amsterdam. And it looks like he doesn't have anyone else like associated with these graphics. Ashthorpe. He might be the main sort of art director on this title sequence for FITC Amsterdam, which is kind of what I wanted to see. I wanted to see like stuff he's worked on, and this is cool.
I feel like all the stuff you looked at previously, the actual portraits and figures, that's kind of he's digging. Yeah. Okay,
gotcha. Mm-hmm. Oh, look at this, like this type of stuff. There we go.
There's some 3D fun.
Yeah.
Oh, that's good. Like, come back to the previous one.
Yeah.
See, it's like no compositing. Compositing.
Yeah, because even though you could add these like glows and things, I mean, I don't know. Sometimes does it come down to rendering? You're like, yeah, I could add everything in 3D, but the rendering is going to take like 12 days. I don't know. I'm guessing here.
It does not take that long, but it's that's a good example of how you don't want just to render things. You also want to add some effects and glows and compositing in it.
Yes.
It makes a big difference.
Look at him using some of that FITC texture. No, I don't know. Either way, really cool.
Hey, he's just using libraries. You do.
He's just using library. We're like, no big deal. It's not a big deal. It's just libraries, right? Yeah, I could do that. I don't think so. Anyway. Yeah, it looks like his website might be a little bit more up to date, but nonetheless, it's pretty awesome creator. Look at this. Every frame of this, like, good for him.
Fun, cool stuff.
Yeah, love the colors, like a good use, very film-esque, using warm tones and then cool tones. You know, I feel, but this is very Ghost in the Shell, whatever this is, VS versus machines. Cool. What are look frames, Sasha? Do you know what those are?
I think it's just maybe
like just kind of like
frames.
A story, just frames for like sort of like a storyboard, but for the look of an animation, maybe.
Oh well, we should ask
I have no idea.
Jake at some point.
Come on, Jake. Jake's busy doing a render. I don't know. Anyways, super impressive. Yes, Ashthorpe is a beast. Just checking out comments too. Hopefully everybody's like really into this stuff. Looks pretty impressive. So yeah, I love this. I love this type of lighting. It's
yeah,
cool.
It's a little bit more ornamental.
Yeah, very cool.
Should we maybe check also what we have for the challenge?
Yes. Can I have you share your screen since I don't have them up, if you don't mind?
Absolutely. I am going to share my screen right now. Cool. Okay. Thanks. Yeah, just wanted to mention that yesterday we have, I mentioned that we have a Surreal Nature Challenge where you guys can post something on the theme of surreal nature, and whoever does the best job, I'm going to send them some of my prints, some Instagram shout outs, and portfolio review if you wanted, and just wanted to look into some stuff which people already posted. Just go to Photoshop, Discord, and go to design other, tag me, and as you can see, some people did amazing surreal nature images. I really like this one with a projection. Really would like to see it in motion. Yeah, like imagine
that's cool.
This in motion. That would be so cool.
Mm-hmm.
Love this one. So much going on in terms of the compositing different images together. Colors, love the colors, the color correction.
Yeah, I like those colors.
Yeah. Oh, look at this. This is fun.
That is some crazy tail.
Yeah, it's almost like Naruto, but just one long tail.
Yeah. Ooh, that's a nice one.
Oh, look at this illustration, almost super cool. So many details.
Yeah. Huh.
Love it. Oh, this is lovely. Here's some stuff, and
I like how the other fish is photobombing. The white fish is photobombing. Like, you don't know how long it took us.
Totally.
But fun with the depth, you know, sort of wrapping around the Big Ben and all that.
And colors are fun too. Just you know, how we're limiting everything to blue, red, white. So it's looking good. I can't wait to see more of your stuff. So
I like it.
Yeah, either post it in here or you can DM it to me on my Instagram. So
is that the easiest way for people to bombard you?
The best way to bombard me in here. I'm checking.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because you probably get quite a few. You probably get flooded with messages. I don't know if you do or not.
I mean, I can spare some time to look at other people's work.
Cool.
Oh,
This is how you get better, people. You know, it's like just do work. Just, you know, push pixels around, get excited about what Sasha's shown you, try it out, share it with others. You know, I like to think this is a pretty encouraging space, you know.
Yeah.
To grow and get better and, you know,
so
create whatever you want.
Yep. As a reminder, like just what we did today, submerge some swords, submerge some ladies.
Spa day. It's a spa day, guys.
Cool.
Yeah, that looks good. And can you bring up, we do whatever you want, because I also want to kind of reference the two pieces you did yesterday.
Oh, yes, for sure. Let's see. Yesterday, check out if you didn't yet. We had this image, which is mostly was about, you know, compositioning stuff, warping them, painting some shadows, adding 3D renders into the image. And then we had some fun makeup image, which was this guy.
Yep. Oh, there it is.
Yep. So here we used some of the gradient maps to adjust the colors.
Yes.
Some filters using depth of field for better compositing, bokehs, and other depth of field filters. So
watch out for poison ivy and poison oak, folks. But that's way cool. I liked how you used the gradient map to, you know, to make her eyes, you know, that make her skin green and vary those colors and all that.
Something discussed yesterday, but you know, one of my favorite ways to change colors is gradient map, especially when you're trying to change like piece of clothing or you know, physically color something into a different color. I think it's one of the best ways, and you have full control over it, like in here.
Yeah, like if you wanted to change that color entirely to something else, and the thing is you have that color range to do it with, you know, so you can dip from the magenta, you know, into a yellow. Yep.
Go through all the.
And then, of course, in this case, like, and then if you actually did this, do you ever push things a little bit farther to sell the realism? Like, if she was magenta, right? Would you put a splash of magenta onto the like leaves?
Oh yeah, for sure.
Just like a touch, and I don't know if you amp that up a little bit just to sell it even more. You know what I'm saying? I don't know if you do that.
Yeah, like also in here, if I'll go with that, like if for some reason leaves had to stay green, we would have some kind of color spill because you have objects so close to each other, and they would interact in terms of the lighting. So I definitely would paint some purple spills onto my leaves.
Yeah.
Yeah, and even maybe just on a different blending layers.
Yeah. And that's just from, you know, I don't know. That's what you just learn. I think you learn that in art school, like these sort of things. Like it's something you kind of know, and maybe from photography, like how light works and all that stuff. Like that's how you know to do this.
Yeah, for sure. Like something to think about every time you compose images is color spills, the shadow, matching lighting. And you know, this is something I probably needed to talk about in the very beginning, but I have, just give me a second, I'll bring up the thoughts on it.
It's so fun, like painting with light and just, I don't know, just fun. It's fun in Photoshop.
Yeah. just wanted to share my thoughts.
Ooh.
Like when you start creating the image, like this is the steps I always go through. Obviously, idea, your inspiration, your references. References is everything, especially when you're trying to mimic some realistic look, like what we did with the water. You want to have references when understanding where you're going. Then choosing right photos, something I mentioned many times for the last 2 days. Colors, the lighting should match, and just picking right beautiful photos from the beginning will make your life so much easier. Then obviously masking. This is super technical. There's so many ways to mask, but often I see like, photos are nice, lighting is matching, but masking is not very good and it just stands out. And then atmosphere, matching color and contrast. We didn't have to do it this time much. It's very crucial for landscapes where, you want to have your contrast. Like sometimes when you're trying to combine two photos and one photo is has too much contrast and another is not, then you just need to adjust those things. And obviously atmosphere, something we did with a sword, like just adding some of those glows. And camera raw filter magic, had a lot of that. Something also to consider, shadows. That's Paul, what you mentioned, never use just black paint to draw shadows. It will just look too heavy.
Yeah. Sometimes what I'll do is I will have an adjustment layer, so maybe levels or something, and then you paint on the shadow by painting on the mask of the levels layer.
Yeah.
Do you do that?
I do that very often. And also, I sometimes like painting those shadows and stuff on the camera raw filter, because it's weird when you're trying to adjust levels, it will make it again look a little dirty. But when you do camera raw filter, the way it adjusts as light and dark, it's just it just does a better job. I'm just trying to find the photos to demonstrate that. So
we got 2 minutes. Oh no. Did everybody do a screen grab of Sasha's cheat sheet? Because I know I did.
Well, yeah, shadows. This is something
Smudge tool, love it. Right?
Yes.
Smudge those shadows. That's how you do that. Tighter near where the object touches.
Yep. Then adding details, all those like painting overlay layers of highlights, flyaway hair, some other elements, and then final magic again, camera filter, color dodge, something we looked through today, color corrections, chromatic aberrations, noise.
Learn that word.
And something lots of people miss is the presentation. You already spend so much time just creating your work, and just make an effort to present it in a cool way.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, I guess said. I'm not going to go through shadows, but
you don't have time, and I know you're fast. But like, we need something to look forward to when we have you again. Fingers crossed.
Yeah, hopefully. Hopefully soon.
Oh, that would be awesome. Definitely. Like, I don't do what you need to do. Bookmark these. Today's session, yesterday's. Invaluable, what you've done, Sasha. I can't say enough kind words about you as a person, and of course you as an exceptional artist and visual designer.
Thank you so much for having me again. Learned so many tricks from you, and also Adobe team, Paco guys. Thank you so much for having me on this stream.
So thankful to have you. Follow her on Instagram, all that good stuff. Yeah, you can find her, of course, on Behance as well. So stay tuned. We got some cool stuff going on. Package Design Illustrated Creative Challenge, some Rush video, all the good stuff. So, but yeah, thank you so much, everybody. And again, thank you so much,
guys.
Sasha. We appreciate you, everyone. Thank you so much.